Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about Gobbler, Fuck Your Thanksgiving by Judith Sonnet. I'm not going to show you the back cover. There's an image on it, but I don't want to show it to you. It might be a little spoilery. So this is a little tiny novella of Thanksgiving horror. And I'm going to tell you right here, it says trigger warning. This is an extreme horror story. It is intended to be upsetting. So that's the trigger warning that we have in here. So I read this on Thanksgiving Day. Made it a point to have it and made it a point to be finished what I was reading previously in time to be able to sit down and read this on Thanksgiving Day. Read it in one sitting. It's very quick. And what the story is there is a serial killer, a slasher, known as the Gobbler, who every Thanksgiving, and only Thanksgiving, will find a family or gathering of people who are not celebrating Thanksgiving properly in the traditional Gobbler-approved ways, and he does horrible things. The book starts with our cold open, where we meet the Gobbler and basically get his why he is the way he is. We're introduced to the Gobbler. Then we're going to meet the rest of our cast of characters, the people who we know, because of the nature of this book, are going to be the target of the Gobbler this year. And so we have a few chapters where we get to know these characters, and then the Gobbler hits the fan. And despite there being this wonderful picture of a turkey on the cover, the Gobbler is not a turkey. It's not a killer turkey. It's a dude in a mask and a costume. So, very short book, trying not to give anything away. I'm going to jump right in and tell you, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Eric, are you crazy? It's a Thanksgiving extreme horror novella called Gobbler, Fuck Your Thanksgiving. How can you give it 4 out of 5 stars? Well, let me explain. First of all, when I'm reading and rating a book, I'm not looking at it and comparing it, or at least I try my best not to look at it and compare it to other things. So I'm basing it solely on my experience with the book itself. And when I say 4 out of 5 stars, I've said this before on other videos, going by what it says on Goodreads, which is, I never remember what 1 star is, because I don't rate anything 1 star, because if it's going to be 1 star, I'm not going to finish the book. And therefore, I'm not going to rate it. 2 is, it was okay. 3 is, I liked it. 4 is, I really liked it. 5 is, it was amazing. And so I really liked this book. For what it is, it accomplishes its goals. It is upsetting. But beyond just being this over-the-top, extreme, upsetting horror novella, Judith Sonnet actually takes the time, what time she has in, let's take a quick look. We're not even going to look at the afterwards. We're not going to count that. So, 65 pages. And technically, since it starts on page 5, 60 pages. In that 60 pages, she gives us character. We meet the people and get to know them. At least a little bit. The people, the couple, it's 2 women. One of them is the town sheriff, her wife, their adopted son. We get to know them the best. But then as their guests arrive, we get to know a little bit about them as well. And so another couple with a young daughter come over, and then, is it the sheriff's brother? somebody's brother, I think, comes over. They have a child as well. So you've got 5 adults, 3 children. And Judith Sonnet takes the time to actually make us care at least a little bit about these characters before the Gobbler shows up and everything goes insane. And it is extreme. Judith Sonnet does push the boundaries, breaks through the boundaries, does things I can only think of very few other authors who might do those same things. And I think she does it well. And so I really enjoyed this book, which is 4 stars. That's what the rating system on Goodreads says. 4 stars. I really liked it, and I really liked this book. This is the second book by Judith Sonnet I have read. And are they masterpieces? No. But they are what they are, and they succeed at doing what they are meant to do. And they are entertaining, which is my number one criteria when I'm reading something, fiction anyway. Am I being entertained? And so if you don't mind reading a book that's intended to be upsetting, those are the words on the page, extreme horror, I highly recommend this. Again, it's a very quick read, and it's come on, Gobbler, fuck your Thanksgiving. I loved it. It was what I needed for a good Thanksgiving morning. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't want to spoil anything. You've got the basic premise. Crazed serial killer slasher that goes out every Thanksgiving, finds a group of people who aren't celebrating Thanksgiving properly. I'm not going to tell you what his motivations are, because you'll have to read the book to find out, and then you'll have to read the book to find out what happens when this group of people that I mentioned and the Gobbler collide. It's not pretty, but it is entertaining. The Gobbler, Fuck Your Thanksgiving by Judith Sonnet. 4 out of 5 stars, folks. That's the rating I'm giving it, and I'm standing by it. So there you go. Do I have a question for this video? I don't know. I guess, how do you feel about a numbered rating system? I've obviously just explained how I do it, based on the Goodreads thing. I could generally just, say if I recommend it or not, or highly recommend it or whatever, but I do keep track of all this stuff on Goodreads, and so I do give them a rating, in the hopes that, I don't know if it affects algorithms in any way, but hopefully, if I give it a 4 or 5 stars, hopefully that's going to boost its rating or boost its visibility. I don't know. But, yeah, I try to take every book by itself, unless it's part of a trilogy or a series or whatever. And so I'm not comparing this to War and Peace, which I haven't read. Maybe Crime and Punishment, which I have read. Although I probably wouldn't give that 5 stars. It's a slog. But anyway. How about The Stand? I'm not comparing this to The Stand. I'm just reading this book, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it, and that's what 4 stars is. What are your thoughts on the rating system? How do you rate books? Or do you not rate books? You either like it or you didn't. Let me know your thoughts on this sort of thing in the comments below. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you care to follow me on other social media, as of this recording, I'm still on Twitter at Ronin5757. On Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, it's Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K. ERIKSMITH 5757. That's all I've got. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.